You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the December 27th, 2022 special meeting of the Michigan City Common Council. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
I would like to call our special meeting of the Common Council today to order. Today is Tuesday, December 27th. If you would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silent prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. I hope everybody's been enjoying their vacations, their holidays, all that good stuff. Ms. Nyla on the roll call.
Mr. Dabney,
Present.
Mr. Fitzpatrick,
Present.
Mr. Matt, Ms. Deitch,
Present.
Mr. Don Prespolinski,
Present.
Mr. Paul Prespolinski,
Present.
Mr. Simmons,
Present.
Ms. Jagus,
Present.
and Ms. Tillman.
Present.
We have 8 present and 1 absent.
And also, I'd like to acknowledge our council attorney is on the line, Mr. Joel Harris as well. All right. With that, this is a call for special meeting. Everybody received their notice. We have 2 items of business. The first ordinance on third reading by title only. Ms. Nyla.
An ordinance on third reading by title only and an ordinance vacating a public alleyway in the city of Michigan City located north of Alfred Avenue, south of Joy Street, west of Jefferson Street, and east of vacated Adams Street. And this is introduced by Mr. Fitzpatrick and Ms. Deitch.
Yes, and this was posted in the Herald Dispatch on December 7, 2022. We held our formal public hearing on December 20th, 2022. We had to put this on our agenda for a special meeting because there are special requirements for vacation of property. And this is for HealthLink, their new facility that will be built in Michigan City. Are there any comments from the sponsors? Any additional comments? Comments from the public?
Yeah, Tommy Calabi, 1316 Ohio Street. That's why I really envy you as council members get into a you're going to be able to tell your children, your great grandchildren, your grandchildren that, when I was on the council, I vacated that alley so I could have that clinic can go in. I think it was really cool seeing all the pictures on Facebook with Congressman Frank Vervan and Mayor Perry and all the dignitaries from HealthLink, with their little shovels and their hard hats for the groundbreaking. And I think it's just going to be fantastic. Now, the property's already been transferred from Ivy Tech to HealthLink. So we just need to go ahead and pass this unanimously through. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kalavic. Any additional comments from the public? Additional comments from the public? Anybody online? Any comments from the public? Comments from the council? Yes, Councilman Dunn.
Motion to approve. Support.
We have a motion from Councilman Don Prespolinski and a second from Councilman Sean Fitzpatrick. Ms. Nyla on the vote.
Mr. Paul Prespolinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Mr. Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Ms. Deitch,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Mr. Don Prespolinski,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
and Ms. Jagus.
Aye.
We have 8 in favor and no one opposed.
All right, thank you. It passes. The next ordinance by title only.
An ordinance on third reading by title only, amending the redistricting of 6 legislative wards of Michigan City Common Council established by Section 42-32 of Municipal Code of Michigan City, Indiana. And this is introduced by Ms. Deitch and Mr. Paul Prespolinski.
Any comments from the sponsors? Sponsors. I will add, and our attorney is on, and I'll ask that he kind of update us a little bit. But before you is the description. I couldn't think of the word. Is the description of the the MCMP one that was the one that had the least it's the most contiguous with the deviation still under 10%, but our attorney went through a process and also had some back and forth with Mr. Basil and with our city attorney, Amber LePage Starbrink. Did you want to add any additional comments before we go to the public?
No, I would just kind of reiterate what you've already said. That's the process we went through after the discussion at our last meeting, where all the council members, expressed their opinion about which map seemed to make the most sense. We took that direction and went forward with drafting a narrative of each of the wards. I worked with Amber LePage and Tony Basil, as well as Kelsey Kaufman, who helped me throughout the entire redistricting process in terms of coming up with what set of maps made the most sense. So what you have before you now, I believe they were passed out to you, is the most current version of the ordinance that is inclusive of the current descriptions. I believe it's your plan to amend by substitution today. So I think that would be, as long as this is, you're in agreement with this, I think that would be your next step.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, Councilman Paul, did you have something?
Are we under protocol? Should we make the amendment now by substitution?
You can, yes.
All right, I'd like to make that motion to by substitution to amend the redistricting map of the wards of the city of Michigan City, and that are established by section 4232 of the municipal code of the city of Michigan City. Support.
So we have a motion by Councilman Paul Privilinski and a second by Councilman Sean Fitzpatrick to amend by substitution. Ms. Nyla on the vote.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Mr. Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Ms. Deitch,
Aye.
Mr. Don Prespolinski,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Jagus. Aye. And Mr. Paul Prespolinski.
Aye.
We have 8 in favor and no one opposed.
All right. So this is again, these are the ones that you received in your emails over the last couple of weeks, but last week you received this with more color coded, just a little bit more detailed with all the streets and everything inside of them. So any comments from the public?
Yeah, Tommy Klavik, it looks like I'm not gonna be like Brittany Griner and go on a prisoner swap. I'm gonna stay across the street. I'll be in the second ward. I'm not moving over to the third ward. You're not registering me. I might have to move in my brother-in-law, Tommy Lee, across the street. I think we just need to make sure we get through with the head, county clerk, Mrs. Stevens, and we they got a real detailed map on the LaPorte County website, the voters registration page, and we just need to make sure that gets everybody notified if their ward is going to change or their precinct's going to change. I'm staying MC05. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kalavic. Any additional comments from the public? Any additional comments from the public? All right, comments from the council. Any council comments?
Yeah, Madam President.
Yes.
I would just like to thank Mrs. Kaufman
Yes.
and bringing this to the light of the city council, the way I understand this whole process went, and all the information that she provided. City council, I mean, hats off to her and all the hard work she did and giving us this information to make this process so much more easier than it could have been if she wouldn't have got involved, I'm sure. Yeah, and to the council attorney, Jewel, thank you for all your hard work and effort on putting this amendment together. Yeah, and we won't have to worry about this for another 10 years, correct?
That's
I
correct.
understand it? Yeah.
That's correct. And Ms. Kaufman, I will say this too. She had many cities that she was doing this for at the same time.
Mhm.
So, and I think, so she was on very busy over the last month trying to help cities get this done. So I appreciate that. Councilman Sean Fitzpatrick.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Councilman Sean Fitzpatrick
Or
and a second by Councilwoman Tracy Tillman. Ms. Nyla on the vote.
Mr. Fitzpatrick,
Aye.
Ms. Deitch,
Aye.
Mr. Don Prespolinski,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Jagus. Aye. Mr. Paul Prespolinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
I.
and Mr. Dabney.
Aye.
We have 8 in favor and no one opposed.
All right, thank you. We have one item of unfinished business. The council has one appointment to the Veterans Commission representing a member of the service that deals with PTSD. It expires on December 31st, 2022. Keith Devereaux was the nomination. Ms. Nyla on the vote. Oh. He's the only one. We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Ms. Nyla on the vote.
Ms. Deitch,
Aye.
Mr. Don Prespolinski,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Jagus. Aye. Mr. Paul Prespolinski.
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
I.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Aye.
We have 8 in favor and no one opposed.
All right, thank you. I'll call for adjournment. Happy New Year, everybody.
Motion to adjourn.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a wonderful New Year. Be safe out on the roads.
Happy New Year.